from PRX.
All right, everybody, this is Scoots. I'm coming to you in bed. I am getting comfortable, and I said I'm going to record this spot for Helix Sleep from the bed I love. Do you love the mattress you're listening to this show in right now? Absolutely love it like I do? Because my Helix fits my sleep needs. Does the mattress you're in suit you? Because what happened for me is I took that Helix quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep, and I got matched with a mattress that fits me. I sleep on my side. I sleep on my stomach. I don't want to wake up with aches and pains, and I like to sleep cool. I don't want to overheat. And so when I took the Helix quiz, again at helixsleep.com/sleep, I got matched with the perfect mattress with me in mind. I didn't have to go to a store. I didn't have to have a salesperson watch me. No, I got to tell Helix how I like to sleep, and they matched me with the perfect mattress. And I love the bed so much, I'm like, let me record from bed. And then when you get your Helix, it comes with a 100-night sleep trial, a limited lifetime warranty. It comes straight to your door with free shipping in the U.S. It's got a Happy with Helix guarantee, so you can rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. And you deserve the best night's sleep possible. You owe it to yourself. So go over there and take the quiz, because not only are you going to get matched with an amazing mattress, Helix is going to offer you a special deal. Go to helixsleep.com/sleep for 20% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/sleep for 20% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello, bakers. Bake Off is back here on Sleep With Me podcast, the podcast that's here to put you to sleep in the most indirect way possible. Tonight, eventually we'll do that through a Bake Off, I don't know, what... reconstruction watch through. But welcome to Sleep With Me if you're new. This podcast is a bit different, but it's here to help you out in the deep dark night. If you've had trouble getting to sleep, staying asleep, or you just dread bedtime, whether it's just been for the past week or two, or it's been 3, 4, 5, 6 years, I'm here to try to help you out. And this show's a bit different, so it does take a couple tries to get used to it. So if you're new, I'll explain everything in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. But I really hope we can help you. Not only am I here to help you kind of take your mind off whatever's keeping you awake, but also maybe make a little bit positive impact on your bedtime. And maybe even to reach, not for the stars or the moon, but to bring you some sleepy joy and delight in the deep, dark night. So whether you're new or coming back, what we got coming up is support. So the paying for the show is optional. Most listeners appreciate that. Then a long, meandering intro, totally separate from the support, to ease you into bedtime. And then we'll take a look at a new season collection of Bake Off, or the Great British Baking Show, however it's referred to, or however you like, yeah. So, yeah, and that's about it. We'll be here about a little bit over an hour. And if you're new, just see how it goes. If you're coming back because you're having a tough time, I really hope I can bring you some relief. And if you're someone that listens night after night, year after year, you would miss the show if it's gone, because it's a regular part of your bedtime. The way that we're able to be here for you is by the people that, like, if you could, check out one of these sponsors or consider supporting the show directly. Thanks. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, ZocDoc, and I'm so happy to have ZocDoc as a partner. You know, I moved last year, I had to change insurance, I had to start over with my care team, and now I'm also using ZocDoc to find a doctor for my daughter to go back to college and get her checkup. And in the past, I honestly, I wouldn't even know where to start because it is so much more complicated here with new insurance and not quite understanding the coverage. And then not wanting to match my doctor with someone that's not going to be a good fit for my daughter, that's not going to listen to her, that's not going to relate to her and care for her like I would want to, right? If I was a doctor. And one of those things is hearing real patient reviews. So whether you're searching for a new doctor, you just moved, you're helping care for a family member, and you wonder, does it really have to have this many unknowns? Well, the answer is not with ZocDoc, because as I'm scrolling through ZocDoc right now, I can see doctors, I can see their availability, I can filter between in-person and video visits, and then she could look at the profiles too, look at the real verified patient reviews, because ZocDoc lets you search and compare local in-network doctors. They have more than 150,000 providers within 200 plus specialties across all 50 states. ZocDoc's website has tons of reviews from real patients and detailed doctor profiles to help you choose the right one. And appointments can happen fast, usually within 24 to 72 hours. You can even score same-day appointments, and ZocDoc is free to use. Your health matters, and taking care of yourself shouldn't be complicated. Find and book the right doctor with ZocDoc. Head to ZocDoc.com/sleep to get started and check that appointment off your to-do list. That's ZocDoc.com/sleep. ZocDoc.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. If you're hearing this message and you support the show on Sleep With Me Plus, you shouldn't be hearing this message. And I want you to, you must be a super listener if you're supporting the show on Sleep With Me Plus. Maybe you listen all night long. Maybe you fall asleep fast. Maybe you listen in the middle of the night. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you just have certain preferences. We built Sleep With Me Plus with you in mind. And I don't want you missing out on the ad-free episodes if you fall asleep fast, on the story-only episodes if you listen all night long. Those don't have ads either. Or the all-night episodes, or if you love all intros, the all-intro episodes. If you just love the show, all the bonus content that's on there. So search your email for "You Have Subscribed." That's the message we sent out when you sign up, the email. There's also a video from me that you should have got when you signed up that has the instructions. Or if you're really stuck, just send an email to our support team, support@supercast.com. Let them know. Even if you can't log in, say, hey, I can't even log into my account. I'm stuck. They're happy to help. Because Sleep With Me Plus was built with those kind of listeners in mind. People that listen a lot, or that have listened for years and years and years. You say, you know what I love? I want to hear more from Stan. I want to hear more from Agatha. Cat and llama and dog roommates, whatever it is, it's all in there. So make sure to get it set up. Thanks. Oh, Mystery Bard, a lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Song sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcript.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. And if you listen to Sleep With Me all night long, you fall asleep fast during the intro, you listen 5, 6, 7 episodes a week, you've been listening over 3 years. You know, we designed Sleep With Me Plus with listeners like that in mind. There's versions of the podcast built specifically for those styles of listening on Sleep With Me Plus. Ad-free full episodes, story-only episodes, audiobook-style compilations, all intro episodes. And you can get all that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Then you can fall asleep faster, listen all night long, And not only do you get the peace of mind from the show, you get the peace of mind. The podcast will be there for you and for everybody else that needs it. And you could just sign up and check it out with a 7-day free trial. You could get it free by being surprised by Scoots. And when I say this next part, you'll know because it's because of your support. So what do you say? Because of your support, we get on with the show. Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing? Trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you can set aside whatever's keeping you awake. Whether that is thoughts on your mind, thoughts about the past, the present, the future, thoughts you're thinking about, or thoughts that are thinking thoughts, think, thought, thunk. Thunk would be the best, because you say that's, I don't know if that's post-participle past or past is that a thing? But it's, that means it already happened, right? It's my thoughts have been thunk. I would prefer that a bit. I wonder if I could use that as a statement at bedtime. Would that be effective, thoughts? My thoughts said probably not. Like I guess declarations aren't good for bedtime either, except maybe the Declaration of Independence. Because I'm assuming it would be boring. But I'm just saying it in jest. I mean, to all the fans, of reading. I mean, I should have never brought it up. I did not want to be, particularly, I try to avoid all smoting, especially by previously, historical figures. By the way, what a historical figure you strike. I can pander to you as well. I was just saying declarations are good at bedtime, but anything with a lot of never mind. I've wandered down one, but let's just keep all even declarations about declarations. Can we agree? I think we can. That I retract all my declarations about declarations, and I say that particularly at bedtime, I do, well, except for except for silly okay, it's not a declaration. It's if you say, I do doth declare, if you're saying it in a silly voice, that I was mistaken about my declarations earlier. But you could say that to yourself, to other people, to pets, to plants, to window, to the moon, the star. I do doth declare that my thoughts have been thunk. I'm just sure. I don't think that would fit on a pillow, but I do doth declare that my thoughts have been thunk tonight, and I'm ready for bed. What was I even talking about? Oh, this is a podcast. Thoughts could be on your mind. I mean, now, holy cow. These are the thoughts that run through my head at bedtime and where they go. I mean, really, and I'm toning it down because some part of my brain's do you realize how upset the Declaration and the founding parents are going to be what would Martha Washington say about this? And I'd say, yeah, you're right. She's probably not pleased with me. Luckily, I think she's probably got better things to do, or at least more entertaining things to do than, I'm probably not that important to anyone in, other realms. So so that's good news, probably. That's what I'm saying to my thoughts. So it could be thoughts, it could be feelings, anything coming up for you emotionally, whether it's related to those thoughts or feelings that are just there. It could be changes in time, temperature, routine. You could be going through something, in the middle of something, getting over something. Maybe work a different schedule, or your schedule changed, or you have guests, or you're traveling. Whatever it is, when I say I'm glad you're here, I mean it. And the only reason I run through some of that stuff is so that you're in good company. You're in company with other people where sleep is not one of those things that, like they say, ease into sleep. I don't know if they do say that, but maybe they do. I don't think the people that do, they don't even have to say that. Oh boy, as soon as my head hits the pillow. Okay, that's great. That's terrific. I'm so happy for you. So whatever brought you here, I know what my experience with sleep's been on and off since I was a kid. And it's been a non-positive, sometimes, pretty non-positive, strongly non-positive, is a mild way of saying it. And I know what that feels like underneath for me, particularly before, during, and after. And I don't know if it feels anything like that for you. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but maybe we can connect on that level of that something brought you here and you're looking for something, maybe some relief, maybe some comfort, or maybe a solution. And that's what brought most people here, and that's what connects us. And I call it the deep, dark night for a reason. But that part's not positive. But, I mean, by the way, the night can be beautiful. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that something happens, or it feels a certain way. And that connects us in a positive way, though, too. Like, there are people listening around the world right now. And some of those people, they came here for a similar reason to whatever brought you here. And they really get it. Like, whatever it is you're feeling right now in this moment, they felt it too, or they may be feeling it right now, or they may be thinking it, or they may be having similar physical sensations or things going on in their life, but they've been here before. So now, not only do they get whatever relief the podcast brings them, or distraction or comfort, but they get to send you some goodness, some comfort, indirectly, yeah. But in the deep, dark night right now in this moment, they're rooting for you. They're thinking of you fondly, and they're hopeful for you. Like, they're almost like sending you their hope about bedtime, because they say, I never thought I would find a podcast where whatever happened in the last 10 minutes happened, and that I would listen to it and enjoy it, and it would change my relationship with sleep. But I hope it does that for you like it did for me. It didn't realize it needed a bore friend or just someone to take my mind off of stuff. And I hope this show works for you. That's what those listeners are sending to you right now. And when you're here, you can send and you could receive, or you could, sit on the sidelines and say, I prefer not to partake at all. That's fine too. But it all happens. It's indirect magic that happens around this show, because we are connected by something, and there is a way to make something special out of it. Mostly by me meandering, but by knowing, there's other people out there rooting for you. I mean, that's a nice thing. And or rooting for each other. If you don't want to partake, you say, wow, there's people across the world rooting for one another right now in this moment that I'm listening to the show. That's nice. And that's what's important about the show, but you're the most important piece, because I'm here to try to help you out so that you could get the rest you need so your life is more manageable tomorrow, that you don't have to dread bedtime, that bedtime doesn't have to be such a rigmarole, and that maybe if you listen to the show on a regular basis, you could start to at least see bedtime in a neutral way, or maybe even a somewhat positive way. Well, at least I got my routine now, and that boring dude's a part of it. And maybe, just maybe, it's not just about bringing you sleepy joy and delight in the deep, dark night, but if you're getting the rest you need on a regular basis, you could be out there in the world flourishing. Like slowly flourishing out there in the world, in your life. And that makes our entire world, that all these people are sending kindness across right now, a better place to be in. And it makes your world a better place to be in. And that's what's important to me and all the other listeners. So it's okay for your life to be the most, like, obviously you say, well, yeah, those other listeners are great, but don't worry, I'm talking right to you. Now, the way the show works is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents. So it means I go off topic, I get mixed up, I forget what I was talking about, then I go on accidental. I mean, a lot of tangents are accidental and superfluous, but I never thought I'm not surprised I could be on the wrong side of Martha Washington or George or any of the, you see, first of all, they had nothing, and I say, I guess I wouldn't be surprised. Historians everywhere. You don't know if I'm doing it only a regular listener knows. Scoots ain't kidding either. He doesn't know. I'm not, I could, let's just say I wasn't flourishing at the time this was taught. So my life was not manageable due to sleep. So that's why I missed all these lessons. See, Martha Washington in the day, I do doth declare. But don't you picture her in one of those nice caps? I mean, at least I do. With a and she's saying, okay, she'd be pretty good, a bedtime, not a narrator, but a bedtime presence. If she has a rocking chair, Martha, does she? But I don't know if does Martha Stewart or that's Martha Stewart, not Martha Washington. I'm just digging it deeper, huh? So we'll move on. Okay, one of the most important things to move on to is not just Martha Stewart or Martha Washington or, any of the great Marthas of the world. These are a few of the great Marthas of the world. Plimpton would be another one I put in there. I mean, I don't want to start listing because there's too many good Marthas out there. Also, Martas, worked with a great Marta. Don't get me started on my favorite Martas because we'll be here all night. And, any of the Mar-based names. So, and then then I might go, then I'll start talking about the sea, So, okay, where was I? Oh, the first thing you need to know is when most people get to the show, would you believe it? They don't like this podcast. And that's normal. So if you get here and you're skeptical, you're doubtful, you're kind of like, what is going on here? What is this? Is this guy serious? He's just going on about almost nothing. That's a normal way to get here because maybe you searched for sleep podcasts or someone recommended the show to you or you discovered it somewhere. And then you had a reasonable expectation of what a sleep podcast would be. And this is probably nothing like your reasonable expectation. And that kind of is a bit dissonant, right? You say, what is this? I thought this would be peaceful and soothing and tranquil. And I say, just like my image of Martha Washington, But, the show's different. It does take a couple tries for most people to get used to. For a lot of people, they listen once and then they come back later and then they listen again. And then on the third try, they're like, On the third try, I just kind of fell asleep at some point. But the first two tries, I was trying to figure this thing out. But I guess he's never figured it out either. So, okay. And now I get that he doesn't get that when none of us get it, and never knew to look for something like this or that it could exist, but that takes some time. And the good news is you could try the show out, or you could know right now in this moment, you don't like me at all. It'll never be a fit. Or maybe this is your third or fourth try and you're like, yep, this is the last time I'm listening. That's okay, too. And I still believe you deserve everything I just listed. Even if you have a strong distaste for me, I believe that. And I have a website set up for you, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. And that has all of the all other sleep, a bunch of other sleep podcasts and sleepy stuff on there that maybe one of those things will help you out. Sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. So if it doesn't work out or you already know right now, check that website out. The next thing that can throw people off is that this is a podcast that you don't listen to, but you can listen or you kind of listen to it. It's not just background noise, but it could be background noise. It could be like a show streaming under your pillow, TV on in the other room, an out-of-focus picture, a long lecture, clouds in the sky, wind in the trees, or a friend who just keeps going on and on and on. But maybe they're your roommate, or maybe they're on the phone and you're drifting off and it's okay with them. Or sand passing through your hands, or nice water passing through your toes. It's something that's there and not quite there at the same time. And that takes some getting used to. A podcast, you don't exactly, you don't not listen to it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So that's one thing. The other thing is that this is a sleep podcast I've been making since 2013 or 2013. And I'm not here to put you to sleep. There is no pressure or expectation to fall asleep with this show. I'm going to be here over an hour, so you don't have to worry about falling asleep. But there's people listening who can't sleep at all for whatever it is that they're dealing with. And they just need someone to be there for them. And there's people who need someone to be there for them during a break in the day, or when they wake up, or when they just have a job where they find something like this soothing. And I'm here for them and for you, whether you're awake or asleep. There's over 600 shows ready to go. So you don't have to think about falling asleep. I'm going to be here to hang with you, to chill and just kind of talk and talk and talk. So just see how it goes. But that takes some getting used to, because my job is not to put you to sleep, but it's to take your mind off stuff and to be your bore friend, your bore bay, your bore sib, your neighbor, your bore bee, your Borman, your Boris Borloff, your chairman of the boards, your big Borbowski, your bore sib, your bore cuz, your bore bestie, your best bore friend forever. And a bore friend just hangs out and takes, you say, okay, just talk to me about, you watched the Bake Off? This week I watched it first on mute and took notes, because I noticed a couple other things we did. I really liked the details that came out when it was on mute. And then I watched it again with the audio. So we'll try to do some sort of run through like that. Oh, wow. So you watched a baking show on mute. With the sound off, audio off, with subtitles. No, nothing. I just watched it. Okay. That sounds, sounds like something, I don't know. Perfect for bedtime. You're right. So, yeah, that's what a bore friend does. The last thing I want to run through is the structure of the show. It really throws new people off, or people that like listen to other podcasts. And why wouldn't it? The show's structured in a very specific way to benefit the maximum amount of people it can. So I'll explain it to you. So the show starts off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Then I say something silly, so you feel seen and welcomed in, and you get the kind of general tone of the show. You say, oh, okay, I could check that show out. I'll give it a try. Then there's sponsors or support, so that paying for the show is optional. And there's not real, like, I realize some people like wish that wasn't the case, but that's how we put the show out, right? And it's free for anybody that wants to listen to it. And it actually benefits probably 20 times more people by being out there versus just being a subscription or audiobook or something. That's important to me. 20 times more people are getting relief in the deep, dark night because of that. Then after the support, separate from the support, show within a show is the intro. And the intro introduces what the podcast is for 1,000+ times. But I try to make it, follow a familiar structure every time. So there's something reassuring, but it's different every time, particularly this one. Normally I would have known to steer clear of any specific declarations, but I don't know. And then or historical figures. But I say, oh, in that rocking chair with that hat, do you strike a historical figure, Martha? Wow. Very soothing, by the way. So, so what was I saying? Oh, I go on. The intro goes in a different direction every time, but I keep going back to like what we regularly talk about so people get a sense of what the show's like. But the reason, other than my total inefficiency at talking and getting to the point, which is pretty, strong, the intro also, we kind of settled on this 15 to 25 minute long intro because it's not designed to put you to sleep. It's designed to set the tone, to set the mood, and to ease you into bedtime. While there is a small percentage of people that fall asleep fast, and we always encourage them to support the show directly, not because it's designed for people that fall asleep fast, but also there's no way to keep this show going for people that fall asleep fast. But we are happy for them. But most people are winding down, getting ready for bed, maybe brushing their teeth, chilling out somewhere, doodling, knitting, petting their pets. Maybe they are. Maybe you could picture someone in a rocking chair and they're rocking, listening to the show, looking out the window, winding down. And the intro is meant to ease you into bedtime versus putting you to sleep, to set the mood, to lower the volume on the day. So you could kind of test out what works for you. But that's why the intro goes on and on and on. If you decide you like just the stories from the show, there's a podcast, Bedtime Stories from Sleeping Me, just as the very beginning of the show and the stories, not the intros. But for most people, this is like the time we all hang out together, like a sleepover, like after it peaks, but before everybody goes to sleep. We're chatting and giggling, and you say barely giggling. And historians tonight are not giggling, probably. Understand it, or anyone with any knowledge. My brain just said this. Anyone with any knowledge of history whatsoever. Now I say, okay, thanks. Now they're giggling at that. We call it more giggles. It's like a quarter. I guess gig's already taken. And more than what you see, you got a gig or gigabyte, Eagles. I don't know. What Eagles is, that doesn't sound very, anyway, it's like a part of a giggle. But, we're humor. This show's humoresque. Whatever is one step away from comedy adjacent. You say, well, I don't know if you could say you're comedy adjacent. It's like whatever is less than alt comedy. So anyway, that's what I'm here to do. Barely put a smile on your face. And that's what I'm striving. A little sleepy joy and delight. So, what do we call it? Just delight. So just kind of see how it goes. Then after the intro will be support. Then tonight we'll be talking about Bake Off. Also will be here a bit over an hour. And I'm really glad you're here. Whether you just found your way to the show, whether you come back when you need it, or you're here night after night after night. We work really hard, myself and a team of people on this show, because we believe in it. And we believe in helping you out if we can. So thank you for listening. And if you believe in the show and it's helped you out, we could also use your help back if you listen on a regular basis. So if you could consider supporting one of these sponsors, supporting the show directly or letting somebody know about the podcast would be huge. Thanks. Everybody, Scoots here, recovering cake week of Great British Baking you off into sleep. Episode 1 of Collection 9. And I'm trying to always improve what I'm doing and making things more sleep with me, I guess. And so I kind of discovered watching things on mute and taking notes. And we've done it in the past. And I'm like, maybe this makes for more effective pondering. So I'm going to go through my notes when I watch the episode on mute. And then I'll go through my notes, or I'll kind of look at the time and then decide, should we go through it unmuted, my notes, or what interesting things came up? And then we'll go from there. But now I'm looking at my handwriting, and it's just a part of it. Okay, oh boy. Interesting. So Cake Week, and we get that comedy open, which actually you could kind of figure it out, because at first you notice, what are those things called? Those haircuts are called, but it's you notice something that's mullets. I also put best open ever ? Mullets, and then birds and ducks and things. But it's you quickly like, wait, are they singing Achy Breaky Heart? So it's a band made up of Matt, Noel, Prue, and Paul, all lip syncing, and I think they're lip syncing. They're all playing instruments. Now I don't know because I don't have it in front of me. I didn't write all 4 of them. ! All in. So they are really all in, acting, doing Squatch Wells, Skip That Tart, Talking Heads. So I don't know what that says, but so they're all singing Achy Breaky Heart. I'm guessing Noel's on keyboards, Paul and Prue are on guitar and bass, and Matt's on drums. But that could just be how it was. Just, I mean, even on mute, it was hilarious. Okay, so then we go through the preview of the episode. Something about a tart, I think. Nice sweater contrast. So one of the contestants has a sweater, a shirt and a sweater, or something that matches what Noel's wearing. Welcome temp, welcome tart, welcome to the tent. Somebody switches glasses with Prue. Some of the names I'm definitely going to have incorrect or correct. Christelle, Jurgen, family, Beach, and Bunny. Is Matt rapping or singing to him? Then Tom, does Tom work at a toy shop or is it Tim? Then Amanda, lake or river swimming. Roshika. I think some of these I filled in after. Family at the park. This one, I don't even know. Prue-esque. Maggie. Tennis, Prue-esque. Freya, seaside cakes with mum, Swiss rolls. Okay, so they're making Swiss rolls, which maybe we could come back to. But so Swiss rolls are interesting for someone because they're associated in the U.S. As something like, okay, so just in case you're under 40, under 35. I don't exactly know when this became a thing, but it seems like it was a thing at these schools in England, school lunch desserts. So not to spoil it for kids, because this wasn't such a great idea. I'm just telling you kids. And also, I'm not joking that you're not missing out on much. I haven't had a Star Crunch in quite a while, so I can't tell you if those are as good, but I just don't think if I bought a pack of them, they'd get finished. But Swiss rolls here in the U.S., in my experience, are, I can only speak for myself. I associate them with something that would be in other kids' lunches, occasionally mine. And also that there's probably 2 or 3 different brands of Swiss rolls. I'm assuming Little Debbie and Hostess, but maybe there was other ones. And because I think someone used to get ones that had peanut characters on them for a time. But out of all, now in theory, I'm just telling you in theory, the Swiss roll is presented in the U.S. because I love it. I think I've talked about this before. Not only am I a ding dong, but I love those ding dongs. And a Swiss roll is very similar. It's chocolate cake rolled with a cream filling, rolled in the Swiss roll style, and then covered in a chocolate-like thing, or maybe chocolate. Now, let me tell you, other ones, well, we didn't get Hostess stuff because there were 6 kids in my family. There was a Hostess outlet that I've driven, now that I moved back to where I grew up. It's not there anymore. In Florida, there's a Tasty Cake outlet that I keep meaning to go to somewhere within 20 minutes where my dad lives. Pretty sure it's a Tasty Cake outlet. It could be an Entenmann's outlet. There's an Entenmann's outlet in somewhere somewhat near where my sister lives in New Jersey, though usually in a car full of people, and rarely, I think I have been in there, though, because they said, why don't we stop? I mean, talk about manipulation. Is this honest manipulation? They said, why don't we stop at the Hostess outlet and get like a Danish or something for breakfast tomorrow, since we're going to be guests at our house. Also, like, another pitch I'll make if we didn't stop at the Hostess outlet, or it just seemed like no one was going to say yes, so I didn't bring it up. There's a Carvel. And in California, like, I think there's Carvels maybe in the suburbs, but it's a big deal. And so then I would get to do, like, sometimes they'd be like, well, it's somewhat in the range of one of my niece or nephew's birthdays. Why don't we stop at Carvel? Then we could get them to decorate a Fudgy the Whale, or a whale-based ice cream. They make ice cream cakes. Carvel is a ice cream place. And then I said, and you know, maybe we just have a soft serve ice cream now. All that to say is that we usually had Little Debbie. I don't know if there were store brands or there was just a Little Debbie. And I don't mean to be, usually I don't like to be too harsh, right? But I feel like the Swiss rolls that I was consuming, they were like low. Like it was like I looked at it, I said, this should be really good. And I should be grateful that I have a dessert. And usually I was. But the Swiss roll was always like something I was like, I mean, I guess this is what I would say. Like, it could be worse. You could have no dessert or something that's not as good. Like, at least you have a Swiss roll. So I guess that was my opinion on the Swiss rolls I was getting. Better than nothing. What were some other ones? Oatmeal pie. Advantage oatmeal pie. I wouldn't say it was better. These are Little Debbie-esque brands, just in case Little Debbie's listening. Oatmeal pie, not bad. I mean, like, also this, whatever the combination of chocolate and cream filling balance in the Swiss rolls, it wasn't well balanced. Just you're always left with like too much it wasn't just balanced out. So I guess if you're a super chocolate fan, you might like it, but I'm not. I like chocolate when it's balanced with something creamy. The oatmeal pie, not bad. There's like Nutter Butters. Again, you say not bad, especially the oatmeal pie and the Nutter Butter, the less the better. And that's maybe where Little Debbie, even though the Nutter Butter, it seemed like, I don't know, Nutter Butter was like a wafer cookie type thing or biscuit. Then you had the Star Crunch, which was like Rice Krispies caramel and chocolate melted, and there was always a rumor that there's a star shape inside if you cut it, but we never got to, no science teacher, no one ever did, if I could time travel, maybe I'd do that, the Star Crunch conundrum. Does the Star Crunch actually have, why is it named Star? Here's, if they ever bring back the mystery show, Star Crunch, what? It's, you wouldn't call it chocolate, Rice Krispie cereal caramel lump. Little Debbie, I need to get to know more about this company. Probably also manufactures like industrial lubricants and things. I'm just guessing, yeah. So Swiss rolls, there's something that I'm sure if I was to go to a bakery and get some sort of Swiss roll, it would be delightful. And the times I've gotten rolled holiday cakes, which are similar to Swiss roll or maybe the same thing, they've been delicious. So in summary, the first thing that our bakers are making are Swiss rolls. We've got maybe George up first. He's got a dog. His oven's open. Family. Knitting or flying a kite maybe, and a farm. We have Lizzie, dog, stickers. Noel has matching slippers. I think that means matching shirts. Chigs, Chigs, Clamor, Jim, guitar, Chantilly cream. Giuseppe, lab, ? Pizza, ? Easter. Yarzino, forage, dancing, assembly, flat with paper, rolls up to center. So that's one thing I noticed is that some people roll. So what you do is you basically bake a thin cake. You got it on some sort of parchment paper. Now, we got to bake it the correct way so it's not, it maintains its shape. Then you put the filling on, and then you roll it. Now, some people would roll it one big roll. Other people would roll theirs towards the center. So then they have two separate rolls. And I guess it's a tough balance between having a cake that's thin enough to roll, but still has some, cakeability. Okay, then you cut them up. How much is, how much of this, so this is where I was speculating about the history of Little Debbie, was, back when the people across the world were dancing off against one another, for the second time. How many people visited Europe, and then how many Americans were visiting Europe, helping them, and then said, I've grown to have an affinity for these Swiss rolls, and maybe that there was like a more shelf-stable Swiss roll developed as a part of that time that people gained an affinity for. And then when they got home, they said, man, I'm craving those Swiss rolls, the fresh ones or the shelf-stable ones? Those are questions I don't have the answer to. I wonder about. I do wonder. Yeah, so that's my thing. Coconut. Somebody's making one with coconut. I put ? Double exclamation point. Frosting and topping time. Good to better. Okay, so, this is like 1, 2... Amanda Rope, so Yair, Lovest, Amanda Rope Balance, Nope Balance, Tom got it good, Cheddar, no, that must be Chantel, let me see the name, Cristal maybe? Good, no swirl, no swirl though. George is a mess. It's like pudding. Sigh. Rose Chica. Rubbery, maybe. Jurgen. Wood pellet, not sweet. Freya. Faff, ? Hefty.
Chig's Swirl Frost. Lizzie, flavors vary. Giuseppe, neat as a pin. Elegant, classy taste. Bother and both. Then we do the talking heads. Okay, then we have the mystery. Prue says anyone over 35 years old won't know what it is. Malt loaf, their faces. Giuseppe, no idea. Table talk, sampler, hard to mix and bake. My Nan, tea loaf fruit. Rose cherry, question mark. Matt, extract, malt extract does not smell good. Talking ostrich, dance off. Mix in the oven, long bake, then cheering to know if Dre, making better, how long, no one knows coming out, good or bad, better off on top, no one knows. Okay, then they do the tasting. One looks good, better derby. Small, good fruit. So this is like a malt loaf. I guess we'll get into it later, but it's a malt bread with fruit in it that you put, and then they had to make fresh butter. Small, good fruit, that's 2. 3, even, too much fruit. 4, too salty. 5, good. 6, lots of fruit, short. 7, pale, cheery. 8, nice, calm, tension sacket. 9, flargen. 10, dodgy, underdone, doughy probably. 11, pale, longer in oven. 12, mix, never even, slans, calm. So I think this goes from last to first. Amanda, Chiggs, Giuseppe, Zeno, Cristal, Rose Chica, Jurgen, Tim, Lizzie, George, Freya in second, and Maggie in first. Big smiles, talking heads, table talk, back is bubble. Okay, then we have the next thing. Maggie, Prue, they're doing a lot of jokes about it. Anti-gravity cakes, defying gravity. They missed a chance for, like, I think the years were, I don't know how many years ago this series came out, but they could have had defying gravity would have been a great crossover. The one's on Netflix and one's on the Bird Network. Pass on tap, they case it. Framework, how do they do that? So they want like a cake or cakes that somehow defies gravity. Now, you can't have a superstructure, because this is like the showcase, whatever they call it, the showcase bake, fundamentally nice bake, whatever it is. Chiggs is doing coffee pouring into a cup. So like there's like water, then the larger cake that's either a pot or something, and then a cup. Giuseppe, Jack, and the beanstalk. So he has a beanstalk going up to a cloud cake with maybe a castle on it. Something raspberry coulis, kids cake. Jurgen, a book with a light, book light and book. DIY. Now, Jurgen's like putting like washers and bolts in his, and he says, "Don't worry, I put my all my metal in the dishwasher." George is doing backgammon with a something pot, I think coffee pot that is. Maggie, ice cream pour correct. Pearl, still working Prue bit. Give her the glasses. Oh, so they make Maggie wear Prue's glasses. Intro owns into the oven go the sponges, which are the cake. Lots of metal, layers of stuff. Cristal floral bouquet for her aunt. It's a gravity anti. Oh, that was funny. There's some. Noel says, "Oh, your auntie." anti-gravity cake. That was a good one. Freya, flour put onto of cake. Somebody in Matt, coffee on a string. Everyone working on assembly, building. Yarzin, man, my handwriting. He's got it. Kick the can, cake, metal, plastic. Yarzino. Cake went roll up right into so his cake's not going good. He rolls up, he puts it in the fridge or in the freezer. Noel and Matt do a upside down bit. Rose Chica's doing an apple cake, fragile. Lens Dardinaire. Lizzie, Nana's peaches and cream. Pour a cup into cake. Now they're working on their smaller cakes. Tony's doing an 1812 offset cake into gentle toppings on. Paul, store, paddleboard. Top going on. Straubel's final touches. Help balance cake on table. Chess cup falling apart. Cupping the cup. Oh, yeah, this guy, Chigs, that's Chigs, not Chess. He has to cup, his coffee cup, which eventually falls apart onto the floor. And he had to go first. Cake looks good. George could be neater, nice flowers. Maggie, more plant pot, delicious, not much flour. Yarzino, not what we expected, but we love the flair. Amanda, concept good, overbaked. Lizzie, simplistic mess, maybe. Flamenco. Freya, flows, wow, lovely booze, delicious and vegan. Cristal, elegant, baffly flannel, rosewater, Rose Chica, most detailed, flavors lovely. Tom, not anti-gravity at all, not good. Giuseppe, dry good, beautiful, now layers and flavor. Jurgen, clean and simple, elegant, light rose. Then we go to the talking heads sitting outside. The contestants are taking up sun with one another. Matt's going here and there. Tom, Jurgen, talking heads. Lyrics, whose voice? This is talking heads. Jurgen calls, no one here. Oh, Jurgen calls home. So Jurgen came in first. He calls home, no one's there. I guess I forgot that Jurgen came in first. For some reason, I was thinking it was Maggie. Maggie came first on the malt loaf. I think it was Maggie, Jurgen, and Freya. Talking heads. Matt. So I think Tom went home. I have no idea. Tom didn't do... So this is like a free thing that we learn. Like, if you don't follow the instructions, your cake better be unbelievable. And even if it is, they don't... I mean, I think this goes on most of these preparation reality shows. If they tell you to do something, you probably give yourself like at least a 70% chance if you don't follow. If they say, make an anti-gravity cake... And you make one that's like, I mean, technically, this is, his was just like a little bit off center. I mean, here's what I would recommend. I mean, this is like Leaning Tower of Pisa, but it's got to be really leaning. And then I guess you have to have something where if it was a Leaning Tower of Pisa, it'd be like, how's that still standing without some sort of brace? But his was more like a pile of books. Or like a Jenga, I mean, his wasn't a Jenga tower, but it was, you know what I mean? You got to follow instructions. And I got the sense he seemed like a really nice guy, but that maybe it was like, I don't know. He just reminded me of me a bit. You get into that state and then you kind of see life with blinders on. Okay, so now we're back with the episode again. Let's see what I actually got. Anything new? Because there was some things I wanted to look up. All right, let me look up. Sorry. I decided I have so many, in my notes, I put rectangles around things that I want to look up. So I just took a break and looked up some stuff. So let's run through that. Because it does start with the Swiss roll. Okay, so it did not start in Switzerland. It was a staple of in European patisserie. It was possibly a part of tea time, and a lot of times it had fruit in the rolling part with the sponge cake. So we've talked about that. Probably started around the 1800s. Referenced in somewhere in the Birmingham Journal, 1856, and they should be light and airy, just like on the show. There's also a caterpillar cake, which was decorated, oddly enough, kind of like Fudgy the Whale, given a face to make you say, "Oh boy, I love Fudgy the Whale." People apparently loved caterpillar cakes. But yeah, this stuff about long shelf life, mass produced, something more shelf stable, was Little Debbie. Oh, there's also, I forgot about Drake's cakes and ho-hos. So that was the good version. Is that what a ho-ho is? I guess so. Little Debbie was just called Swiss roll. Hostess, I knew they had a slightly better quality. We didn't have a lot of Drake's cake exposure here. But yeah, the Hostess had the ho-hos, which I think were, slightly better quality, but one day I'll do a comparison. Okay, yeah, they made them smaller and then with shelf-stable stuff. And yeah, in the 70s and 80s, they got put in lunches. They could stay in the cupboard. And there are popular things in the mini roll called the mini roll in the UK. So, yeah. The other thing I had a question, I think we probably looked at me. Well, I guess we haven't done these research once in a while. That's what I like doing is so during this season and the season before, I think they stayed at Down Hall so they could have their own private, it was a time when everybody's staying home. So they worked together. Instead of being at Welford Park, they're in Down Hall. And there was an entire production team, about 120 people on site. There must have been, I wonder if there's a documentary about this. Everybody stayed there. It's a 110-acre estate around the hotel. Staff stayed there as well. And there was 12 separate kitchens in the car park so they could practice. Now, normally the show's filmed on the weekends, so over 12 to 13 weekends, but this they kind of did it shorter, 6 to 7 weeks. So it would be interesting to learn more. And it felt like a summer camp. And then in 2022, they returned to Welford Park. The next up was Jaggery, which is a unrefined sugar. So Jaggery's made by boiling down sugarcane juice or palm sap until it solidifies. And because the molasses is not taken away or stripped away, it has a darker color and flavor that's kind of like between, oh boy, this sounds delicious, brown sugar, caramel, and fudge. So juice is pressed from the sugar cane, tapped from the palm trees, That could be date coconut or other palms. Then boiled in large shallow pans, stuff skimmed off the top. Then it's concentrated into a thick golden brown paste. And then it could be, I wonder if you can buy it as a paste or a powder. And then it should have a deep earthy sweetness. And in India, it's called gur, G-U-R, and it can be used in anything to balance, heats and flavors, or so in sweet and savory dishes and sweet dishes. Also retains some minerals like iron, magnesium, and potassium. And it can be crumbly or soft. You could shave it off a block or buy it as granular powder to put in tea or coffee. So what's the difference between jaggery and brown sugar was a question. Brown sugar is usually refined white sugar that has molasses added back in. I had no idea about that. Kind of sprayed on. Jaggery, the molasses was never taken out. Gotta pick myself up some jaggery. All right, next up is Bristol, which came up. One of the contestants was from Bristol. Known as the capital of the West Country. So it has a good art and cultural scene. There's the Clifton Suspension Bridge. Spans the Avon Gorge, incredible views. There's the SS Great Britain, which was the world's first luxury liner, now dry docked, and you can tour the Victorian cabins. There's also an amazement park, a massive immersive art labyrinth. Oh boy, that sounds really cool. I'm going to have to, I'm gonna just to keep doing some more research here. Let's see, attractions in Bristol. This is everything, but I want 60 free things to do in Bristol. Museums and galleries, indoor attractions. Let's see if I can find this place. Rainy outdoor stuff. Cabot Circus is ultimate shopping. Looks like it's an indoor-outdoor shopping area. We the Curious. They've got a big screen. Oh, here it is. The Amazement Park. Wake the Puppy Poo. Read more. Oh, is this it? That's the offer about it. Okay. My phone's just jumping around here. Immersive experience, amazement park, self-guided adventure at the Dream Factory into the Outerverse. 40 places to explore. Soul-stirring journey. There's artisanal food. So there's a curiosity shop. Of course, your journey ends at the curiosity shop. There's sensory-friendly experiences, sustainable. It seems like it's like a little bit between that place I'd never been before. That's like a museum, but it's not a museum. They're in every tourist area, but I can't think of the name of it. Kind of like Ripley's, or is it more like something like Meow Wolf? St. Nicholas Market, the Harborside and M Shed. The M Shed Museum tells the story of the city and has some originals by Banksy. And Bristol's the hometown of Banksy, by the way. So I don't know, like, you find many original Banksy works there. There's a Leaning Tower of Bristol, 2.7 degrees. That's only 1 degree less than the Leaning Tower. That's weird that I brought that up. There's a famous black currant drink there. And it was invented in Bristol in 1933. Bristol's the world's leading manufacturer of hot air balloons. They're also having in 2026 Upfest, Europe's largest street art festival. And they're going to paint new art murals. Let's do see here. 14 things. This is from, once I go down these rabbit holes, I can't stop. This is Nomadic Matt. Most people will use Bristol to go to Bath or Stonehenge, Bristol Cathedral, King Street, Clifton Suspension Bridge, St. Nicholas Market, Bristol Museum and Art Gallery, take a walking tour. What do we got? Take a street art tour, visit the SS Great Britain, We the Curious, that's a science and art center, the Downs, that's a parkland on the edge of the city. Oh, maybe that's why I looked it up. Then there's Cabot Tower. That's not the one that's leaning, though. Blaise Castle, is that Blaise? 1798. It's a look-alike. It's just a house. Essentially an ornamental building with sweeping views of the Avon Gorge, the Avon Valley Railway. Once connected Bristol to Bath, but now it's like a heritage railway, steam-powered train. There's the Wookey, W-O-K-E-Y hole, La Cava's, unique geological area, just a day trip, an hour away. Limestone, baby. Gloucester Road. I think I thought I got it right, but maybe that means I got it wrong. That's the largest stretch of independent shops. Whole street's walkable. Anything else from this one? Not from that one there. There's a lot more from Bristol. Visit Bristol, UK. Visit Britain. What else you got? More about Banksy. Facts. So there's a lot of options there. Okay, what about Faff? This was when I had to put a rectangle around because I said, what does Faff mean? F-A-F-F. I got a general sense of it, but I was like, man, maybe I should take some time to learn about Faff. Okay, so fussy, time-consuming, or inefficient. Like I'm just faff. Are you just faffing around? Who sang that song? Is that Counting Crows? I'm just faffing around. I think that was the Counting Crows. I think they called it, I'm just faffing around this old town on my bike or walking on the sidewalk. I'm just faffing around this old town. I'm not in a hurry. Don't need to be anywhere. Kind of like that sleep podcaster. He does a lot of faffing. F to the A to the F to the A to the F to the F, man. As a verb, oh boy, I just hit the wrong button now. Okay, can you just not open up that? Thank you. I'm fat. I've been faffed. As a verb, faff, faff about or faff around. So it's not just made up. Spend time doing things in a disorganized way without actually accomplishing much. That's kind of this, as a noun, faff is when it's overly complicated, more effort than it's worth. So that would be how they were referring to it on the show. A faff. It's a bit of a faff, man. Related terms, faffy or faffing. So this could be another, I know I've never been in touch with Adam Scott and Scott Aukerman. And I don't know of any bands. What's a band that, the Funkadelic, are you faffing Funkadelic for free or not? What other bands start with, are you faffing Frampton? Are you getting faffy with Frampton for me? So that could be technically, usually it's a song title though. I think, what if they did it and they're faffing about Frampton and Funkadelic? You faffing Frampton, from Frampton to Funkadelic, fra free? That's more like Scooby-Doo would say. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so that's faff. Now let's get into malts, because, here in the U.S., my experience with malts, by the way, I love malt powder, not just a chocolate malt. I'll take a vanilla malt. I'm not much of a milkshake person. I remember once upon a time, long time ago, now I don't even know where he'd like to go. My friend Charlie, he became a big milkshake fan. He would say, and I didn't even know you could do this. So this is pre-Starbucks era. Like, he would get a chocolate ice cream, a chocolate malt with vanilla syrup at some ice cream place here when we were kids. I mean, in high school. It was like we were old enough to drive our cars, but we were still like, so we're probably like 16, 17, maybe not even. I'm going to have to ask him, but he told me, he's like, you got to get this. It's the greatest milkshake you could possibly, if you're a chocolate fan, yes. I think the introduction of vanilla syrup, which now is common, back then it was like, wait a second, like vanilla syrup they would put in a vanilla Coke. If you went to a place where you could order cherry vanilla Coke, which is already rare. Yeah. I mean, I remember I was like, wait a second, I've never ordered I just order what's on the menu. You're telling me you're getting, like, that's like the stuff on the side of the menu costs like 20 cents extra? Yeah. So you order chocolate shake with vanilla syrup and chocolate malt shake with vanilla syrup. And he was so convinced that he was so in love with this shake that I said, okay, I'll go do it. And I did it, and then I said, well, it's a bit much for me, honestly. And I maybe did it one other time. And then maybe then I did fly too close to the sun as ice cream, because I probably then tried to add the syrup or malt to other things. And then I said, like, why would you add malt to, because I was big into mint chip ice cream. That was my ice cream back in the day. And I think even adding vanilla syrup to mint chip, I don't know if that's any good. But malting is related to the malting process, germinating grains, usually barley, drying them, developing the enzymes and sugars. So the malt loaf in the UK, dark, heavy, squidgy, difficult to slice because it's so sticky, eaten with generous slathering of butter. And it's rich in B vitamins. So that was a thing. And then U.S., malt is synonymous with malted milk, chocolate malt or malted milk balls. And this was like an import from James and William Horlick, Horlick, in Wisconsin, 1870s. They combined malt extract with wheat and evaporated milk into a powder. And they said, oh, yeah, this is going to help. It was lightweight, didn't spoil, full of calories. And somehow it became a treat. They were saying, like, yeah, if you were like, kind of like, they said, since we don't have lembas bread, we're going to make this. But then the soda fountains had Horlick's malted milk powder. Maybe it was, can you imagine that with just soda? Like basically whatever, bubble water? But they started adding it to milkshakes. And yeah, then other people got into it. So, yeah, it's enzymes that break down maltose. Okay, Peter Andre came up in this episode. And no idea. I mean, I probably should, but I said, I have no idea who Peter Andre is. I better put a rectangle around it. But in the 90s and 2000s in the UK, pop culture, impossible to miss. So his signature hit, Mysterious Girl, which I'll have to look up. Shirtless in a Waterfall. He had several other hits, but Mysterious Girl went straight to number 1, became a timeless British favorite. Then he became popular on celebrity, celebrity what's called reality shows, and now he's 2026 has a new legacy album out. Maybe he's also been in on touring musicals in the UK. So that's interesting. Okay, Raspberry Ripple. That was another one. I think that was one of the ice creams in, I've heard of Fudge Ripple and Raspberry Ripple, but I don't know if I've had either one. Probably Fudge Ripple. Those were ice creams back in the 80s and the 90s, before this great expansion of ice creams we've had. And I think it was even in the movie Goonies. That's one of the ice creams that Fudge, what's his name? Jeff Cohen finds. I don't know his name. He's not in Tales of Fourth Grade. No, I think two different things. But anyway, Raspberry Ripple, vanilla ice cream with raspberry syrup injected into it. The fruit it's not fruit flavored. The Ripple is distinct, ribbon or marble, and flavor of British seaside. And in the U.S., they said they made a machine that could do it. And flavor company in Pittsburgh may have invented it. Also looked good, because post Worldwide Dance Off 2, the U.S., that was when ice cream places grew. People were also big into the black raspberry flavor, which is also a soft serve that's rare. Not on the West Coast. I rarely saw it, but here in Syracuse, usually you'll get, some soft serve places will have a black raspberry soft serve, or they did when I was a kid, though even today you can get it. Okay, so that's Ripple. I think one of the talked about the book Utopia, which was a Thomas More book from 1516, describing a perfect society, and saying, hey, let's share more, let's be more kind, and less wagging our fingers at one another. And I don't know if this is anything like the Utopia that was in Get Besso season 2. No credits. Everyone shares. People change houses every 10 years. 6-hour workday. Okay, I like that idea. Very tolerant of other people's belief systems. And it's also a pun. It means no place or a good place. Oh, the good place. That's funny. 500 years of debate about this book. Did More want England to look like it? Some people said yes. Some people said it was a satire. And some people said it was not what they would want. I don't know. I just thought about that. And yeah, I think that's it. I think we're at time here. So a good episode of Bake Off. Just getting to know the characters and learning from this first episode. I know not everybody loves it when I look at my notes in an honest way because my handwriting is not good. So I'm going to keep that in mind for episode 2. But also it's like, this is like, this tends to work for, I don't know, it's one of those things balancing the show. But I do like what comes out of like watching it on mute first, seeing what pops. And then with this, I watched it again, which then I was able to refine my notes. But then maybe going Then going with what I like the research portion. We used to do this a lot more. We kind of got away from it because it does take a little bit more time. But I don't know. I think I like these rabbit holes it goes down. So I'm glad you're here. Thanks so much for listening, and good night, everybody.